Okay, this is a level check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer in the streaming center at FOX19 now. About to go live here. I've got 7:11 on my clock, so we're about 4 minutes away from the streaming weather show, live at 7:15. We have 2 first alert weather days coming up. Looks like a busy weather weekend, without a doubt. Okay, 7:12, about 3 minutes away. Be with you coming up then. Two minutes away, everybody. It's meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. You probably hear it already on Facebook. YouTube will automatically start at 7:15, and I'm now just turning on Roku and the other platforms. Okay, 1 minute away. It's 7:14. I'm meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. I'll be with you in just a minute here. Okay, it looks like everything, double checking everything, making sure all the buttons are pushed. That one's pushed. That one's pushed. Facebook is live. Looks like YouTube has gone live. Roku is live. Okay. Now turn on the studio lights here. All right, hi everybody, meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer here in the First Alert Streaming Center, coming to you from Queensgate, just in the west side of downtown Cincinnati. This is our live 7:15 streaming weather show. We do this every Monday through Friday at 7:15. Most of the time I try to make the show go about a half an hour, but I apologize tonight. I'm going to have to cut that short. I'll tell you why in a second here, but you can see it's 32 degrees at the International Airport. This is our camera at Newport on the Levee over in Kentucky, looking across the Ohio River at beautiful downtown Cincinnati. And you can see the Ohio River is down a little bit, but it is on its way back up, and we'll talk about that coming up. I'm going to have to shut this down at 7:30 tonight. That'll give us a 15-minute show. The reason being my wife last weekend broke her hand. She had surgery on it today. She's got pins and screws in it, and I have to go pick up a prescription for her that just became available. I've got to get there before the pharmacy closes, so I'm going to have to just make it a 15-minute show tonight. I hope that's okay with you. All right, we are looking at Newport on the Levee, as I said, and we have got some interesting weather on the way. I'm going to have to stop the program here because I forgot to put the Ohio River stuff in here, but I'll get that in just a second. Here's the big problem. A large swath of 3 to 4 inches of rainfall that is going to move through the area. It's going to move from Arkansas, Missouri, and western Tennessee right on up through Kentucky. And you can see some of that heavier rainfall, essentially the southeast half of the FOX19 Now viewing area, is in the heavier rainfall, and so we're saying that flooding is a good bet for Saturday. We'll look at the time the precip starts and all that in a minute, but with 3 to 4 inches of rain falling in 30 hours, the ground already saturated, I think we'll have some issues with flooding. In particular, I would be aware of the Licking River, the Kentucky River, and especially in the southern part of the Kentucky River, farther south in our viewing area, there may be some significant moderate flooding. So the Kentucky River, the Licking River, Ohio Brush Creek, and then there are a number of others which I'll show you here in just a minute. But overall, 3 to 4 inches of rainfalls, mainly on Saturday, and then we go into colder, blustery snow shower weather on Sunday. So first alert weather days for Saturday and Sunday. First alert weather days are our heads up to you. Saturday, heavy rain, localized flooding. Sunday, blustery and cold with snow showers and wind chills in the teens. Might see an inch out of that, might see a few icy patches on the roads. Should not be a big winter issue though, but wind chills by Monday morning will be down close to 0. Okay, so here we go. This is what the European model says, and it's been consistent. Most of the models are close to this. This may be a little bit too high, but you can see the heaviest rainfall in our southern counties, the lightest in our northwestern. So if you're in Connorsville or Liberty, if you're up in College Corner or Oxford, you might only see an inch to an inch and a half. But if you're in that red swath from Owenton through Dry Ridge, through Falmouth, through Mount Olivet, on into Bracken County, through Brooksville, which is in on the map there, through Maysville, to West Union, to Georgetown, to Garrison, which is in the far eastern corner of Lewis County, you could see rainfall totals over 3 inches and some spots approaching 4 inches. Now remember, all that rain is going to river, so we're worried about those two streams. Ohio Brush Creek in Adams County right here. Ohio Brush Creek is a small creek. It's got a fairly long but very narrow drainage basin, and so it fills up quickly and it floods quickly. So watch out for Ohio Brush Creek. And depending upon how far north or south the real heavy rains get, we also have to watch the Little Miami, which is right here, and the East Fork of the Little Miami, the Great Miami, the Whitewater River, and I think this is Lowry Creek here in southeast Indiana. So those are all potential spots where there could be some flooding. So if we take a look at the flood watch, is in effect. It does not include Decatur, Fayette, Union, Franklin, Butler, Warren, or Clinton counties, but everybody south of that is on a flood watch until 4 p.m. on Sunday. Overnight, Fayette and Union counties, so if you're in Connorsville, if you're in Liberty, if you're in College Corner, more than likely you'll see just a little bit of maybe light freezing drizzle, a little bit of flurry activity. Not enough to be a big problem, but watch out for icy spots up that way until it changes over to rain during the day tomorrow. Current temperatures at the international airports, at the international airport and other airports around the tri-state look like this. Now, just a second, while you're looking at those, you can see it's already down to 30 degrees. Richmond, 28 in the Washington Courthouse area. And what I'm looking for in my rundown, I forgot to put the river forecast panels. Ethan Emery spent a lot of time putting these together, so I will definitely want to show them to you. But if you take a look at those temperatures, it is already cold out there. Cold enough for any precipitation that falls overnight to be an issue. Okay, so Ohio River levels, first of all. Okay, these are for the Ohio River, and you can see that the Ohio River it's got 4 measurement points here in our viewing area. Upriver, Maysville is expected to make it to flood stage Wednesday morning, so minor flooding expected up there. Upriver at Meldal Dam and in Cincinnati, it's going to make it to just below flood stage in both places. So high water, some spots affected, but not quite the flood stage. And Markland, lower downriver from us, is not going to make it up to flood stage according to this forecast, but we'll have to see how these forecasts are updated once we see how much water falls. Now, if you have interest along the Ohio River and you want to see that information in a little bit more detail, we posted that to my X account and to my Facebook account, so you can find it there. Okay, also, there are some other streams that we are kind of worried about. You have Ohio Brush Creek, as I mentioned. You've got, that's at West Union. You've got North Fork of the Licking River that flows past Mount Olivet. You've got the Licking River in the Falmouth area. You've got the Kentucky River at Lockport. Lockport is right there on the river, on the border. I think it's between Henry and Owen counties. And then you've got Eagle Creek, which is a creek that forms the northern border of Owen County and feeds right into the Kentucky River. And if you look at those closely, you'll know they're all rising. Looks like the North Fork of the Licking River is going to get some minor flooding by Monday morning. And the Kentucky River at Lockport should have some minor flooding also. Minor to moderate flooding by the time we get to Monday morning. If you want to see these are also posted on X and on the Facebook page, so you can look at those there if you need to look at them in more detail. All right, there's the temperature map once again. You can see temperatures dropped to 28 already in Washington Courthouse, everybody else in the 30s. We're not going to go too much further. The clouds are thickening up, and that should stop the temperature drop. I think we're going to see 29 or 30 here in Cincinnati. And wind chills are a little bit on the cold side, but the winds have died down a bit. All that you see there is cloud level moisture around the tri-state. I look constantly, we try to get ground verification on this. So when this passed over the Louisville airports, when it passed over Bloomington, when it passed over Madison, we saw no snow reported, anything at all. These were mainly 11 to 13,000 foot cloud bases. So the cloud's way up there, and the radar just sees the moisture up in the clouds. And let me check and see if that's changed. Let me check, see if any snow ever fell in Madison, Indiana here. Give me a second. My brain's not working too fast right now, and neither are my fingers. All right, no, it never did snow. There was never any snow or precipitation reported in Madison, Indiana. Madison is right here. We call it the knee in the Ohio River, so that bend. And the cloud deck, the base of the clouds was 11,000 feet up. So this is just cloud level moisture. You don't have to worry about that if you're heading out this evening. But the real surge of moisture you can see already on this right down here. See all this? Doesn't look like much, but it is moisture that's flowing on the subtropical jets coming out of the Gulf of Mexico, heading to the north and east, and will continue to surge into the tri-state. It will get bigger, it will get heavier, and we are in for quite a rain event Saturday on into Sunday, and some flooding, of course. So for tomorrow morning, the roads will be wet in spots. There could be a slick spot. Can't rule it out. I'm just not too worried about it at this point. There could be a few flurries or sprinkles in the area. Temperatures low 30s, wind chills around 30. Okay, now we go into what the Climate Prediction Center says, and it says it's colder than normal through the 24th of February. Now, we've gone over this the past couple of weeks, and it really hasn't changed that much. Through the 28th of February, so through the last day of the month, looks like it's going to stay up colder than normal, but notice we're not in that darker blue, so the temperatures are going to moderate. And for the 27th through the 12th of March, we'll be on the border of below normal and near normal. So that tells you we should see a warming trend. And we'll look at a graph of the next 14 days here, and I'll show you that in a couple of minutes. Precipitation-wise, it's saying because of the cooler air, we're going to be below normal precipitation-wise through the 24th. We stay below normal through the 28th, and then we go mysteriously back to above normal in the first half of March. And that's more than likely, I think that's probably possible, but it's not looking like we're going to see gobs and gobs and gobs of precipitation. It just looks like a little bit more than normal. So we've already got very wet soil. What we really need now is just kind of to maintain it, let it dry out a little bit so that when we get to planting time, farmers can get their equipment into the field. Okay, so here's that 7-day forecast. Low tonight, 31. High tomorrow, 45. Could see a flake or a sprinkle overnight. Tomorrow, the rain gets heavy at times, and that rain will continue on into Sunday. And if you want to see what the Weather Prediction Center says, it's part of the National Weather Service, it says that all this area has a moderate risk of excessive rainfall. Down here, you can see a high risk. And because this whole band that I showed you traverses the state of Kentucky, Governor Beshear has already put the National Guard on standby. He's got everything ready to go for flood rescue efforts and relief efforts because it looks like a really bad situation in a good portion of Kentucky. They're talking about maybe historic flooding around Mammoth Cave up into the western part of Kentucky. So that would be along the Green River there. Okay, so for us, a moderate risk of excessive rainfall in the southern, almost the southern half. Most of the rest of us, or almost all the rest of us, and a slight risk of excessive rainfall. So it looks like a wet weekend. There's very little doubt about that. So there you see that once again. Okay, then when we get into Sunday, we are talking about a first alert weather day because of wind chills. And here are the wind chill values at 4 p.m. on Sunday: 11 in Connersville, 16 as far southeast as Vanceburg in Lewis County. Number of 15s there, they kind of stretch out along I-71. But so we're going to go from temperatures in the upper 40s and rain Saturday to wind chills in the teens by Sunday afternoon, and by Monday morning, we're going to look at wind chills on President's Day morning in some spots around the 0 mark, maybe a little bit below 0. Okay, then here's the bad news. If you want spring to come, we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. High temperatures well below normal in the 20s, low temperatures in the teens or colder and well below normal. Okay, so let's take a look at the next 7 days, and that'll take us through the rest of the month. Okay, we're looking at a warming trend now. Okay, now we're talking about 35 for the high temperature on the 22nd, and then it warms to 49, and that is just about normal for the 28th of February. Dry weather for a couple days, and that chance. We're looking at a decreasing chance of rain. If you remember the past week or so, we've been talking about numerous chances of getting precipitation, and we still have several chances, but I think by the time we get here, we're going to start seeing less and less rain, and it's going to dry out a little bit as we head into the month of May. Okay, so let's go here, and let's show you the 7-day plus. And what you have there are the high temperatures, there are the low temperatures. I've got the normal high line, the normal low line, and you can see that we spend a lot of time right here, a lot of time colder than normal on the high side and the low side. We've got that warming trend so that by the end of the month, we're 1 degree warmer than normal on the 28th on both on the high side. On the low side, we're 3 degrees warmer than normal, so we finally get back to a normal pattern. Okay, I mentioned as I started this that I've got to shorten this today because I've got to get to the pharmacy to pick up my wife's prescription before it closes. So that's it for now. I won't have time to take your comments or questions on Facebook. I apologize for that. I enjoy that. I look forward to that all the time. So that's it for now. Thank you for joining me. Have yourself a great weekend. Try to stay dry. Try to stay warm on Sunday. And I'll be back Monday at 7:15 on this live streaming show. Ethan Emery will be back Saturday and Sunday at 6 p.m. on the live streaming show, so he'll have you covered over the weekend. And of course, if anything gets way out of hand, we'll be on deck and we'll come in, make sure you stay informed with the weather coming our way. So thanks for joining me.